Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's virtual fall orientation for incoming ninth graders and transfer students. I'm Martin Rimpa, your high school principal, and we'll have several guests that join us tonight to give you a little background on your experience as we move forward for this upcoming school year. Now, typically, of course, we would be in the auditorium. We would give you a chance to tour the building, spend some time with some of our NHS students as chaperones, and continue to get acquainted with our facilities. However, in order to maintain as much safety and security protocol as possible, we're coming to you through this virtual format. We still hope to present to you a tremendous amount of information to make you feel more comfortable and ease in that transition. This is actually several stages into our transition program that we have for you as coming into the high school. You may recall a great majority of you had a chance to come over during our shadow program, which Mr. Pizzo and the guidance counselors from the middle school and the high school coordinated, and it gave you a chance to spend some time in the high school, see what the building feels like, kind of enjoy some of the atmosphere, as well as get acquainted with where things are, such as the main office, the hub, the restrooms, nurse's office, cafeteria, just different things to make you feel more comfortable. This year is going to be a little bit different, but we're still very excited to welcome you back to the high school and get you ready to go and prepare you for your future. If you're watching this video as an incoming freshman or a transfer student, you have made an outstanding decision to come to Fort LeBoeuf. We have some of the most outstanding teachers. We have some of the most outstanding people that are going to be here to help you make decisions and prepare you for your future. And trust me, you'll be leaving the high school before you know it. It goes very, very quickly. And so even though we haven't even started and you haven't even spent your first day as a freshman here in the school, trust me, we already start thinking about that end game and where you're going to be in just a few short years. At Fort LeBoeuf High School, Mr. Pizzo, who's your assistant principal, and you'll hear from him in just a few minutes, we've had a common vision that revolves around respect and service. Respect for each other's, respect for people's different opinions, respect for our community, respect for the educational process. We also believe in service. Mr. Pizzo and I see ourselves as servants to you, the community members, and certainly our students, to see what we can do to help you become a better student and be more prepared for when you leave us. So with those two focus points on respect and service, we want you to think about all the great things that are going to be happening and all the wonderful experiences you're going to have. At this point, I'd like to spend a few minutes and give the podium over to Mr. Pizzo so he can talk to you about some of our safety and security protocol that we have in place and things that will help you feel safe and secure. Mr. Pizzo?
Thank you, Mr. Rimpa. As Mr. Rimpa stated, my name is Steve Pizzo. I'm the assistant principal here at Fort LeBoeuf. I want to be the first to officially welcome the class of 2024 to Fort LeBoeuf High School. Assistant principal has a variety of jobs, but my main job is safety and security of the building. So how do I approach that? Take it very seriously. Over the last few years, we have upgraded our security system. We now have over 40 cameras inside and outside the building. We eliminated our points of entry for students. So there are 3 main points of entry, but most of the students will be using just 2 of them. The bus is let off in the back of the building by the Bison, by the gym, and also car riders can be dropped off in the front of the building every morning. Those are the 2 main points. The third point is over by the administration building, and that is closed for most students throughout the day. You can exit there, but entry is limited to just the front and the back. This year, as Mr. Rimpa said, is a little bit different. COVID-19 has presented challenges for us all, and I know there's questions and concerns about attending the school. On July 1st, the Secretary of Health issued an order requiring universal face masks. Face coverings must cover the mouth and the nose and be attached to the head. All students must wear a face mask when entering the building, and that mask must remain on when the 6-foot physical distancing protocol cannot be met. So if you're in a class and we can't get you spaced out within 6 feet, the mask must be worn. If we can get you spaced out, the mask can be removed. Remember, that's a 6-foot physical distance protocol. Classes will be limited to 23 students per class. We've done that to increase our physical distancing protocols. There will be hand sanitizing stations throughout the building, and we cannot emphasize this enough. Those must be used, and please, you must wash your hands frequently. Hands get more dry, so use lotions to keep the moisture, but we have to continue to wash our hands. Additionally, there are numerous drinking fountains throughout the building. We have converted those to hydration stations. Those are non-contacts. So the typical drinking fountain where you press the button, we never take a drink, won't be utilized anymore. They're hydration filling stations. So we encourage every student to bring their own water bottle from home. It cannot be shared, cannot be purchased. So bring your own water bottle, and then you can refill it at those non-contact hydration stations, and those will be throughout the building as well. So what will your school day look like? This one is a little bit different than normal. We have altered our time schedule. So you will be starting at 7:35 instead of 7:40, and your day will end at 2:12. That's a change of about a half hour. And the reason for this is to assist our elementary bus runs to get our elementary students home safely and in a reasonable amount of time. There were some reductions in protocols for transportation. So in order to accommodate the whole district, we've had to shorten our school day. So again, you'll be starting at 7:35. If you ride the bus, you will be dropped off at about 7:20, so that'll give you plenty of time. And then if you're a car rider or a walker, again, please be here by 7:30, give you time to get in, get screened, and get to your first period. We've had to eliminate what we have a tutorial in the middle of the day, which is about a half hour. We've eliminated that, and there's a reason for that is to reduce our hallway passes and the number of contacts that we come into throughout the day. So that'll be eliminated. Additionally, when we dismiss at 2:12, we're doing a staggered dismissal. So if your fourth period is in a even numbered classroom, you'll be released at 2:10. If you're in an odd numbered classroom, you'll be released at 2:12. The reason for this, again, is to eliminate that congregation, give students enough time to get out of their classrooms and get over to the buses to that grouping where they can't maintain the physical distancing. That's the main goal for that. So our time frame's been changed. We're eliminating as much ball passing as possible, staggered dismissal times, and really a lot of it is to help that elementary run. So when you come in the morning, you're going to be screened by a teacher. It means your temperature will be taken by a non-contact temperature scan. If your temperature registers below 100.4, not 104, it's 100.4, you'll be able to go to your first class. Normally we have a morning walk around for about 20 minutes where students can walk around, they can hang out in classrooms, they can hang out in the hub, which is our library, in the morning time. Unfortunately, all that contacting has to be eliminated. So once you are scanned and you're good to go, you will proceed to your first period and you will stay in your first period. If your temperature registers 100.4 or higher, you'll be directed to go to the nurse where she will do a more in-depth screening and determine what the next protocol is. There's a number of reasons why the temperature could be elevated, but at that point, we'll turn it over to Mrs. Brundage, our school nurse. So whether you walk, ride the bus, car rider, that protocol is all the same. As soon as you come in, you'll be screened. For the parents, please go to our website, www.fortleboeuf.net, and there you'll find a home screening tool that was just uploaded to the website last week. What you need to do is every day before your student goes to school, you need to look at that, fill that out, and then they'll be self-explanatory. There's a number of questions on there where you just have to check your student. Remember, it's for the safety of everyone. When you come in on your first day, you won't go to your first period class, you go to your advisor. Now you'll have the same advisor all 4 years. And why do we go to advisor? Well, the advisor serves a number of purposes, but on the first day, that's where you'll receive your schedule, you'll receive your Chromebook, and other pertinent information you'll need to take home. There's emergency forms and some literature that you need to take home. Those forms will have to be returned, signed by your parents, filled out, those types of things. So that'll be on the first day with your advisor, and then you'll proceed to your next first period class. I wish everyone the best of luck, and welcome to Fort LeBoeuf. Mr. Rimpa?
Thank you, Mr. Pizzo. Mr. Pizzo did an excellent job of giving you just a brief overview of things. If you're in need of more detail, again, Mr. Pizzo referenced our website, www.fortlebeouf.net. There's a whole COVID section there. I also would encourage you to utilize the videos, the intro videos, our Road to Reopening Fort LeBoeuf that have been put out by our superintendent, Mr. Emmerich, as well as our assistant superintendent, Dr. Wolfram, who also go into detail about some of the things that Mr. Pizzo was describing. Mr. Pizzo has done an outstanding job of staying in tune with all that's going on this summer and following the most important things to make sure that our students are safe and our students are able to come to school and not be in danger. There's a couple things that you're going to get when you're in your first period or your advisor-advisee on that very first morning. In order to find out who your advisor-advisee is, we'll have the rosters located on the cafeteria windows as well as our front lobby windows. So you can, when you come into the building, you can check those. We'll also have those sent out via email form so you'll know where to go. There'll be a couple things in your first period, or I keep saying first period, in your advisor-advisee. One will be a floor plan. I know you can't see it on the video, but on one side is a floor plan. On the other side is a time schedule. So those will be available to you as a freshman student. And also we'll have a packet that Mr. Pizzo is working on right now. It starts with athletics. It also has competitive clubs and activities, as well as service clubs and activities. We want to make sure that you get involved and that you figure out that, hey, this is my home. I'm going to be here for 4 years. I want to make sure that I'm as active as possible. Next up, I'd like to introduce some of our special guests, some of the people that really make this place run. When I first started, I talked about the outstanding faculty and staff, how talented and dedicated and caring these individuals are. And we have just a small little glimpse, a couple people from each of the curriculum areas, as well as your 9th grade guidance counselor, that's going to give you a little bit more information on what makes the high school unique to itself, as well as some of the things that are specific to the curriculum areas. So I'd like to introduce your 9th grade counselor, Mrs. Lutzo. Mrs. Lutzo.
Thank you, Mr. Rimpa, and thank you everyone for tuning in tonight to our fall orientation. I hope you receive answers to any questions that you may have and get any information you'll need to prepare yourselves for the start of the school year. Before I start to introduce the teachers that will be presenting today, I want to just take a few moments to remind you of a few differences between the middle school and the high school. First, everyone should have received their schedule in the mail. We ask that you take a look at them again tonight or when you get home, just to make sure that everything looks okay. Although schedules are pretty much locked into place at this point, we will make corrections for a couple of reasons. One, if you're scheduled in the wrong level course, so if you are an incoming 9th grader and you're scheduled into a 10th grade class, you'll definitely want to come in to have us change that. If you have not had the prerequisite, so if you were scheduled for Foods 2, but you haven't had Foods 1 yet, or if you're wanting to challenge yourself and go up into an honors level class, please come in and let us take a look at your schedule. Schedule correction days will be on August 11th, 14th, and 19th in the high school guidance suite from 9 to 1. We will be setting up a sign up genius, which will be emailed to all parents. This is for you guys to schedule a time to come in to meet with one of us. We'll be setting up 15-minute increment meetings where you can come in and we'll have a chance to look at your schedule. So please make sure you're checking your emails for that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is our block schedule. Here at the high school, we run on a 4x4 block schedule, which means you'll have 4 of your credits first semester and 4 credits second semester. If you take a look at your schedule under the term column, you'll see that that has either a 1-2 or a 3-4 there next to each class. If you have a 1-2 next to the classes, that's what classes you'll be taking first semester. If there's a 3-4 next to the classes, that's what you'll be taking second semester. Our semesters change mid-January, so you'll want to make sure you take a look at that. My final reminder is that I'm here to help you in any way that I can. I know we have to maintain social distancing, but my door is always open, so please don't hesitate to come down and see me. Parents, my phone is always available, or you can always schedule a meeting to come and see me as well. My main focus here at the high school is to help the transition from the middle school to the high school, so no concern is too little or no question is too silly. That's what I'm here for. So first up on our teacher presentations, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Suschek from the English department.
Hi, I am Mrs. Suschek, and along with Mrs. Milano and Mr. Lundell, I teach the Freshman Elements of Literature course, which is your English class for 9th grade. The purpose of this course is to introduce you to all types of fiction and nonfiction, as well as different types of writing. In doing so, we will give you a head start in preparation for the literature keystone, which you take at the end of your 10th grade English course. It will also help prepare you for the upper level courses that you'll take later on in your high school career. Some things you can expect to read this year are short stories, and some novels that we might read are Animal Farm, Romeo and Juliet, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Hobbit, and Mouse Part 2. You will also study poetry and nonfiction, so we cover a wide variety of genres for English. In terms of writing, you will write at least 2 essays, one argumentative and one expository. And you'll also do shorter open-ended responses that we call ACE writings. And the purpose of these ACE writings are to help you for the type of writing you'll need to do on the Keystone exam that you'll take in 10th grade. For supplies, make sure you have something to write with. Notebook paper and highlighters are always helpful for annotations. We will also use your Chromebook every day in English class, so it's very important that you charge it every single night. Most of us use Google Classroom, and a lot of things will be done virtually, so make sure you have your Chromebook charged. I'm looking forward to working with you this coming school year, and enjoy the rest of your summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Suschek. Next up from our mathematics department, we have Mrs. Clute.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Clute. I'm one of the math teachers here at the high school. We are so excited to see you and meet you. It might look a little different this year, but we have such a kind and caring staff here at the high school, and we will welcome you in, and we are very excited. We hope you are as well. As a freshman, there are 3 different tracks that you might start out in your math class. So one of the first classes that I'm going to talk about is Integrated 1. If you have Integrated 1 Math, well, what that is it is designed for you to just have some of the basic skills necessary for Algebra 1 and just make you more confident in your mathematics. It's such a great class. I'm one of the teachers that does teach Integrated 1. We will give you all those skills. In fact, we teach exactly the same skills as Algebra 1, but what we're able to do is break it down a little bit more, slow it down a little bit, and just give you a chance to be ready for Algebra 1. So it's just a wonderful class. Maybe some of you are going to be taking Algebra 1. That's your first math class here at the high school. That is an exciting class because that is the beginning of your career in math at the high school here. You'll learn all of the basic skills necessary for all of the higher level math classes. Algebra is the basics behind everything, and so you always end up using that class. You might also be taking Honors Algebra 2 as your first class here at the high school. And that class is just an extension of Algebra 1 with more complicated skills that you'll be learning. And we also take the Keystones in Algebra 2. So we'll be getting you ready for that, whatever that will look like this year. We'll get you ready for all of that. We will probably be using our Chromebooks more this year, so just be ready as well to make sure you have your Chromebook charged and ready to use in class. I'm so excited again to meet you, and I hope you have a wonderful year. It's going to be quite the adventure. Take care.
Thank you, Mrs. Clute. Next up from our science department, we have Mr. Tost.
Thank you, Mrs. Luzzo. The field of science has never been more important than it is today. With threats like climate change and our own population, which will soon exceed 10 billion, 50 billion would be quite a lot. More and more problems are arising that only science can address and solve. What's exciting is that you have the opportunity to be part of the solutions, and it begins here at Fort LeBoeuf. As an incoming freshman, you will begin your science journey with either environmental science or biology. Each of these courses are designed to prepare you for the biology Keystone exam. Now, in these courses, we begin with the very small, the atom, and work our way up through energy, genetics, engineering, technology, and we finish up with ecology. So each of those topics are all kind of interwoven together, but each of them will be present on that Keystone examination. Upon completing those courses, you unlock several different courses, which include physics, anatomy and physiology, environmental science, and then upper level biology courses as well. And there are AP programs involved in our science programs as well. So whether you have an interest in pursuing a medical career, engineering, conservation, and so much more, all that can begin here at Fort LeBoeuf in our science program. On behalf of all the teachers in the science department, we're very excited to meet you, and we look forward to supporting you on your scientific journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tost. Next up, we have Mr. Humphreys from our social studies department.
Hello, my name is Mr. Humphreys, and on behalf of the Social Studies Department, which includes Mr. Cousins, Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Gerard, Mr. Beard, and Mrs. Canfield, I'd like to welcome you to Fort LeBoeuf. Moms and dads, your child is about to get a world-class education. Here at the high school, in the Social Studies Department, your child will be required to receive 3 social studies credits. The Social Studies Department initially will require 3 core classes that you will have to take here at the high school. In 9th grade, you will have U.S. History 1, which will be exploration to the World War I era. In your 10th grade year, you will take U.S. History 2, which will pick up from where we left off with U.S. History 1 and take us up to present-day U.S. history. In your junior year, you will have political science, and then in your senior year, you will have a variety of classes and electives that you can choose from, including psychology, sociology, criminal justice, economics, AP U.S. history, AP psychology, AP government, national issues, lots of different choices. Speaking of choices, here at the high school, there are many social studies clubs and activities that you can participate in, class councils, student governments, Motto UN, mock trial, many to choose from. So please pay attention and get involved if you wish. As far as requirements are concerned, I would say probably on behalf of all of the teachers that Chromebooks would be required, 3-ring binders, writing utensils, and obviously a willingness to learn. If you have any questions, please make sure you stop in to room 205 and see me or any of the other teachers. I'm sure that we'd be willing to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Humphreys. Next up from our special ed department, we have Mrs. Clark.
Hello, my name is Kelly Clark, and I'm here to represent the Special Education Department here at the high school. We have a full range of services at our high school, including emotional support, learning support, life skills support, autistic support, and gifted. So for any of those needs that your students might have, we are here to help assist with that. The transition sometimes from the middle school to the high school is difficult for our students who have special needs, and so we are here to support you in any way that we can. We have resource classes for our students who have a higher degree of need, and most of our students are fully included in our general education curriculum with some supports from our special education teachers who push into those classrooms or sometimes take those students up to classroom 405, which is near our cafeteria, where you can go to get some additional help. For any of our students who have chosen the cyber option, a teacher will be in touch with you near the beginning of the school year to discuss with you how your services are going to be provided this year. And we are committed to making sure that you have all of the supports that you need in order to be successful, whether you're here in our building with us or doing some cyber education at home. So we're super excited to have you here at the high school. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any member of the special education department. We're here to support you in any way with this transition, and welcome. We hope that it's a wonderful school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark, and thank you all of our teachers so far that have given you a little chance. And you can kind of see already, even through the video, the warm, caring, compassionate staff that we have here at Fort LeBoeuf. At Fort LeBoeuf, we have a tradition of caring that went on long before we were here. It's gone on right now, and it's going to go on after we leave. And that's one of the things that sets us apart. And I hope that you could kind of feel some of that with each of our instructors as they talked about it. You could kind of feel a little bit of their passion for their subject matter, but more importantly, they have a caring and a thoughtfulness that's going to help you be successful. And right along those lines, we have Mrs. Gadley, who's going to be up next. She is our Discovery Center coordinator, and that Discovery Center focuses on your change and your transition. We heard Mrs. Lutzow talk about the transition from 8th grade into 9th grade. Mrs. Gadley and Mrs. Uvigis, they focus on that transition from high school into the world, into the workforce, or into the college, or wherever they're headed next, or wherever you're headed next. So we have Mrs. Gadley, who is here to talk a little bit about that program.
Hello, everybody. As Mr. Rippa said, my name is Mrs. Gadley, and my role here at the high school is to coordinate our career-related events and experiences through the Center for Post-Secondary and Career Discovery. You will also hear it referred to as the Discovery Center and CPSCD. I am also the school counselor for the students who attend the Erie County Technical School. Today, I'm here to talk with you about the Discovery Center, which aims to provide students with the opportunity to connect their academics with their interests and enable them to set goals and prepare to enter the workforce or educational program. CPSCD consists of 6 different schools that cover a vast amount of career pathways. They are the School of Business, which includes professions related to management, marketing, technology, and entrepreneurship, such as small business owners, financial managers, accountants, or actuary science. The School of Communication and Visual Arts, and these professions are journalism, architecture, graphic design, audio engineers, or music education. The School of Engineering, which covers professions such as mechanical engineering, CNC operator, welding, carpenter, and quality control. The School of Natural Resources, careers within this school include ecologist, forest management, culinary arts, microbiology, or farm management. The School of Pre-Med includes professions in health sciences, such as a registered nurse, medical coder, dental hygienist, and x-ray technician. And the School of Pre-Law, which includes occupations in the human services and helping professions, such as law enforcement, teachers, counselors, community outreach, and case management. Our goal for students is to make a connection to one of these 6 Discovery Center schools that best fits their interests and career goals. We have faculty members that chair each school and help provide opportunities throughout the school year. This is done with the support of our community partners and involves a variety of school-wide events, field trips, classroom speakers, activities, and clubs that expose students to different careers. CPSCD is designed to introduce students to career pathways and stages and encourages career exploration. There are signature events that all students participate in throughout their 4 years here in the high school. And this year, you'll be able to learn more about each CPSCD school through the Freshman Exploration Days. We understand that our signature events and supporting experiences will look different this school year. However, we still strive to provide a comprehensive program that integrates career concepts across the curriculum and involves community partners and leaders to help students learn about skills related to work environments, such as resume building, identifying the link between their academics, personal interests, how they relate to their future goals and skills in the workplace. We will be adjusting our events and experiences to fit within the protocols and will continue to keep you updated as those change. For more information about the Discovery Center, feel free to visit the CPSCD website or reach out to me at the high school. Now I'd like to introduce Mrs. Sorensen, and she is here to tell you a little bit more about the Erie County Technical School.
Hello, I'd like to thank Mr. Rimpa for having me this evening. The first thing I want to tell you about the Erie County Technical School is that we are part of Fort LeBoeuf School District. We have a wonderful partnership. I bet you will find people that you know, maybe your parents, siblings, cousins, aunts, and uncles that have attended Fort LeBoeuf and Erie County Technical School. We are just housed someplace else on a different campus, but very much a part of Fort LeBoeuf. At ECTS, we have 5 different clusters of classes for you to choose from to attend in your sophomore year. So construction for students who love and are interested in building things, automotive for students who are interested in cars, communications for students who are interested in computers and art, manufacturing for students who are interested in making our world work a little bit better, and social services for students who have a passion for cooking or healthcare, working with children, and maybe cosmetology. All of those classes make up our 17 programs that you can choose from to come to us for half of your school day in your sophomore year. So you spend half of your day here at Fort LeBoeuf taking your academics and half of your day at ECTS pursuing something you're very passionate about, so that when you graduate, you are career and or college ready. I'm not really sure what our recruiting process will look like next year. My job is to make sure all of you get to experience ECTS to decide if it is a good fit for you. And we are working on making those adjustments right now. One thing you will see is a new and dynamic video coming your way that will take you on a virtual tour of our programs. My goal is to bring anyone interested into our building to have a hands-on experience, and I will be working with our administration in Fort LeBoeuf to determine how that happens. But please know that this will not last forever. And by the end of your freshman year, when you're looking at your sophomore year, things will likely be much more back to your normal high school experience, and ECTS will be there to welcome those of you with a passion for one of our programs with open arms. In the meantime, as you're going through your freshman year and you're scheduling and you're thinking about your sophomore year and we're working together to expose you to ECTS, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I wish you all the best of luck as you start your freshman year, and we will all get back to the way things used to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sorensen. We appreciate the information, and we're excited about the opportunities that our students have here at Fort LeBoeuf. We also have another special guest, Mrs. Tarr, who is responsible for all things in the hub. Now, many of you may recognize Mrs. Tarr because she also runs the middle school library. She does an outstanding job of helping students stay connected and understanding proper modes of research, as well as providing some incredible opportunities for casual reading. So Mrs. Tarr also is very skilled with the computers, a bit of a media specialist as well. So she wears many hats for us here at the high school. So Mrs. Tarr, if you could share a few words.
Greetings. As Mr. Rimpa said, I am the certified school librarian for both the middle and the high school here at Fort LeBoeuf. Here at the high school, as Mr. Rimpa said, we call the library the hub. It is the information hub of the building. If you need information for any subject, this is the place to start your research. Also, we do our best to answer any questions you have. And if Mrs. Horniman and I don't have the answer, we will connect you to the source that can get you the answer. Mrs. Horniman, our incredible library aide, is here every day to assist you with Chromebooks, just as Mrs. Vitelli was over in the middle school. All the Chromebooks print here to the printer in the hub. This is also where you would come to borrow one for the day if you forgot yours. Mrs. Horniman and I can also reset Edgistar passwords for students. We have more than double the amount of resources here at the high school, including both print and electronic with databases and EBSCOhost. and an entirely different and more extensive collection of ebooks and audiobooks in our Mac and VIA system. For those students who talked to me last year or the year before about our lack of John Green books or other authors over at the middle school library, I think you will be pleasantly surprised by our fiction section here in the library, which has been organized by genre. I am usually here in person on Tuesdays and Thursdays to help you with any of our resources, but I'm always available via email at tarra@flbapps.net. Students can also access directions and links to all of our electronic resources on the district website on the high school library page at www.fortleboeuf.net. I look forward to working with you here in the hub.
Thank you, Mrs. Tarr. As you can see from the quality of people that we've had here in just our short presentation here as part of your fall orientation, and there's also others that you maybe aren't going to necessarily see on this video, but you'll come in contact with throughout your experience in high school. There's outstanding custodial and maintenance staff. We have wonderful facilities, second to none. They're clean, they're beautiful. It's the best of both worlds for you as you get the latest technology, as well as a clean, appropriate learning space. We also have an incredible support staff that will address any types of issues you might have, whether it's educational, intellectual, emotional, people that are here for you to take care of you. We also have incredible secretaries who are the first line of communication that help you get through so many questions, help you as parents answer questions, and make sure that we stay on track and connect you with the right people. And then lastly, our community and school board. We are so fortunate and so blessed to be in such a wonderful facility, or such a wonderful community with people that care about kids, that care about education, and are willing to make tough decisions in order to do what we all feel is best for you. So as you're entering Fort LeBoeuf High School as a freshman student, some of you are joining us through the FLB Cyber program, where you're going to work almost exclusively with Fort LeBoeuf teachers. Some of you are joining us through the brick and mortar, which means you're in the building like we are now, inside the building on campus in the facility. You're all Fort LeBoeuf students. There's no designation between those. You're all Fort LeBoeuf students. You're all very, very important to us. Within that group of FLB Cyber and students that are here on campus, we have just over 650 students total this year. We're very excited about what opportunities they're going to bring and what they're going to bring to the halls, what they're going to bring to the different areas of our building. So far this summer already, we've had we've had hundreds of athletes and band members that are already very, very involved here at the school. They've gone through the screening processes, whether it's the touchless temperature scans that Mr. Pizzo described earlier, or the screening form where there's a mini health screening that we go through. And your classmates have found it to be, as we reach out to them and talk to them, just an effortless, just a process to make sure that we're doing everything we can for safety and security. So understand that the things that we're going to have in place will not impede on your experience or take away from your experience, but just hopefully ensure that everyone is healthy and everyone is strong. And by all means, if you're ever not feeling well, whether it's a sore throat, whether it's a fever, whether it's a cough, any of those types of things, please stay home. We'll work through the Google Classroom, and we'll be able to keep you caught up as much as possible. As we start to move forward, just a couple things that I want to emphasize. As a freshman student, you're involved in either our academic courses or our honors courses. As you move into your sophomore and especially junior and senior year, we have a full advanced placement curriculum available to you in each of the curriculum areas. You might have heard a couple of your instructors talk about that just a few minutes ago, whether it was a reference to AP Bio or a reference to AP US History. Those are things that you should be thinking about striving for. Back in 2000, there weren't any AP courses here at Fort LeBoeuf. And now in 2020, I believe we have 14 different courses for you to choose from, courses for you to challenge yourself. They have incredibly high rigor and high expectations that will prepare you so that you can make a seamless transition into your college as a freshman. We also have the Regional Choice Initiative available to you if you're interested in taking college courses early on in your career. Last year's seniors, when we took the amount of money that they took in to help them move on to college this fall, last year's seniors earned over $2.5 million in scholarship money, We're very, very proud of them. So even in a year with so much unknown and so much disconnection because of not being in the building, those students through Mrs. UV just worked very, very hard, completed their scholarship applications, reached out and found ways to support them on their next step. So again, congratulations, seniors. We wish you the best. And now it's time for you as freshmen to start leaving your mark. One of the things that you'll see in our hallways as you're walking around is several banners recognizing the outstanding achievement of this building. Some of it is national recognition through the U.S. News and World Report, where Fort LeBoeuf High School has been recognized as one of the top high schools in the entire nation. Some of it might be our SPP scores, our school performance profile scores, where over the last couple of years, of course, there weren't keystones to finish things up last year because of COVID, but the 2 prior years, Fort LeBoeuf High School scored the highest SPP scores in all 4 counties in northwestern PA, of all the high schools, over 30 high schools. So we're very, very proud of what our students achieve, not only athletically and artistically, but most importantly, academically. We'd also like to encourage you to stay connected. Perhaps this video was brought to you through your email and you referenced it there. But as a parent, you might have seen it on our high school Facebook page. We strongly encourage you, if you're one that follows social media, to please follow our high school Facebook. It gives us a chance to promote our students, highlight their accomplishments, and celebrate all that they're doing. And really get us a chance to put that word out about the amazing kids and the amazing community here in Waterford, Pennsylvania. We also have our high school Instagram. Mrs. Tarr was just here a few moments ago. Mrs. Tarr started that this year as another means of communication. So we strongly, strongly encourage all of our students and all of our community members to connect themselves through the high school Instagram page. We also have our school district Twitter that's run mostly by out of central office, but we send out a lot of information on our school district Twitter. And then to celebrate and to promote our athletes, our student athletes throughout all of our different 16 sports here at Fort LeBoeuf, we also have the Pride of the Bison Twitter page. So I strongly encourage you to get involved in any of those: the high school Instagram, the high school Facebook, school district Twitter, and the Pride of the Bison Twitter. All of them are important ways to connect and keep involved. And Mrs. Gadley mentioned it earlier. I believe Mrs. Lutzo also mentioned it. Make sure you're checking your email every day. As a student, it's so important that you're checking that Fort LeBoeuf email every day. There's important information that is so vital for us to get into your hands, and you need to see that through your high school, through your email. Lastly, before I close and shut down this evening, and I want to welcome you and let you know how excited we are to have you start here at Fort LeBoeuf. Our overall theme that we have shared here as a staff and as a high school is leave a legacy. You know, last year seniors had so many things cut short on them with regards to activities, with regards to spring activities, different things that they were looking forward to their entire career. But they never, ever backed down. They stayed positive. And working with those students and working with our senior class advisor last year, Mrs. Humphreys, we found through Google Meets and different activities and our graduation that was at the Sunset Drive-In, those students, their resolve and their positivity and their ability to overcome was never more clear. So at Fort LeBoeuf, when we talk about leave a legacy, now what I challenge you to do is to come up with ways. If you would have ever thought, if you would have told me 6 months ago that Mr. Rimpa was going to have his own YouTube page and that he was going to be broadcasting videos, we would have all laughed at you. Everyone that knows me knows I'm not a big fan of technology. I'm a people person. I like to be with people. I like to see their faces. But we had to make this transition. We had to explore new ways to connect to people. The Bison broadcast had tremendous following, and I received a whole lot of positive feedback with regards to that connection to our community. So I encourage you as young freshmen to start thinking about ways that you can still contribute to your school, contribute to your community, contribute to your classmates, support your peers. So thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to having everyone back in the building. We look forward to you starting to challenge yourself and prepare yourself for your future. Have a good evening.